If you stay until the very end of this video, I promise you, you will walk away knowing exactly how to learn English using real daily life situations. And we even have a quiz waiting for you at the end, so do not go anywhere because this lesson could completely change the way you speak English forever.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I have been trying to learn English for months now, and honestly, I feel like I keep going in circles. So I really hope today is going to be different for me.
I love that you kept trying even when it felt difficult, because that kind of attitude is honestly the number one thing that separates people who eventually speak English well from those who give up too early.
Thank you for saying that. I really needed to hear it. Because sometimes I feel like maybe English is just not for me. Like maybe my brain is not built for learning another language.
Let me tell you something important right now. Every single person watching this video, including you, is completely capable of learning English. And the reason most people struggle is not because of their brain, it is because of the method they are using.
Oh, really? So you were saying the way I am studying might actually be the problem and not my ability? Can you explain what you mean by that? Because I have been using textbooks and apps every day.
Yes, exactly. Textbooks are useful, but they often teach you English that nobody actually uses in real life. So when you go to a coffee shop or talk to a coworker or try to make a new friend, the sentences from the textbook feel completely unnatural.
That is interesting. So are you saying I should throw away my textbooks? Because I spent a lot of money on them, and I really do not want to feel like that was wasted.
No, do not throw them away. What I am saying is that textbooks should be just one small piece of your learning journey, not the entire thing. Because real English learning happens in real conversations, just like what we are doing right now.
Okay, so this video is literally the kind of learning you are talking about? That is kind of funny and also makes a lot of sense at the same time. Like, you were showing me the method while explaining the method?
Exactly. And that is very smart of you to notice. So let us start from the very beginning today, because I want to make sure that whether you are a complete beginner at level A1 or already at B1 or B2, you get real value from this conversation.
Okay, I should probably tell you that my level is around A2 to maybe B1, so I understand quite a bit, but I still make a lot of mistakes when I try to speak, and I get very embarrassed about it.
That embarrassment is completely normal, and almost every English learner in the world has felt that exact same feeling. But here is the truth. Making mistakes is not a sign of failure. It is actually a sign that you are trying, and trying is everything.
But what if I am talking to someone important, like a manager at work or someone I really respect, and I make a mistake in front of them? Does that not make me look bad or uneducated?
Here is what most native English speakers actually think. They do not judge you for making grammar mistakes. They judge you for not trying at all. And when someone sees you making the effort to communicate in a second language, they almost always feel respect, not judgment.
That actually makes me feel so much better. I never thought about it from that angle before. I always assumed people were silently laughing at my mistakes.
All right, so let us talk about the most common daily life situations where you need English. because I want to walk through real examples with you today, starting with the morning routine.
Oh, yes, the morning. I actually struggled with this recently because my apartment building has a lot of English speaking neighbors, and every morning someone said something to me, and I just smile and nod, even though I have no idea what they said.
Oh, I love that. The smile and nod is a very famous technique used by English learners all around the world. But today, we are going to replace that with actual words. Okay?
Yes, please, because one time someone asked me something and I smiled and nodded, and then they looked very confused and walked away. And later I found out they had asked me if there was a fire in the building.
No. Okay, so that is a perfect example of why we need real English for real situations. So let us start. When you see your neighbor in the morning, you can say something simple like, "Good morning. Lovely day, isn't it?"
Good morning.
Lovely day, isn't it? Okay, that feels very natural, actually. I like that. But what if the weather is not lovely? Like, what if it is raining? Great question. You can say, "Good morning. Bit gloomy today," right? Or even simpler, "Morning. Hope your day goes well." The point is not about perfect grammar, it is about making a connection with another person.
Okay, I am going to practice those this week. I live on the third floor, so I see people in the elevator every morning, and I'm going to try saying something instead of just looking at my phone the whole time.
That is a brilliant plan. And I want everyone watching right now to do the same. Find one person in your daily life this week and practice saying good morning in English. Then come back and tell us in the comments how it went.
Oh, yes. And for people watching, please comment below and let us know what happened when you tried it. Because honestly, hearing other people's stories really helps me feel less alone in this learning process.
Yes. And if you are enjoying this video so far, please hit that like button right now because it helps more English learners around the world find this lesson. Okay, let us move to the next situation, which is ordering food.
Oh, this one. Yes, I find this very stressful because the person at the counter is always talking very fast, and sometimes there are people behind me in the line, and I feel pressure to answer quickly.
So, the first thing I want you to remember about ordering food in English is this: it is completely acceptable to say, "Sorry, could you repeat that, please?" And anyone working in a restaurant or cafe has heard that thousands of times and will not think anything of it. Really? I always felt like asking someone to repeat was admitting that my English was bad. But you're right. Even native English speakers ask people to repeat things sometimes. Exactly. And here is a simple script you can use when ordering food. "Hi, could I get a coffee, please? Actually, make that a large one. And could I also get a blueberry muffin?" That sentence works in almost any cafe in the world.
I like that phrase, could I get? Is that more natural than saying, I want or give me? Because I think I've been saying, I want coffee, and someone once told me that sounds a bit rude.
Yes. In English, especially in British and American English, "I want" can sound a little direct. Not always rude, but less polite. So using "could I get" or "may I have" or "I would like" sounds much more natural and friendly.
There are so many small rules like this that nobody ever told me. I've been going around saying I want to people my whole life and thinking my English was fine. And now I am realizing maybe I was coming across wrong.
But now you know. And that is the beautiful thing about learning. Every single lesson adds one more tool to your English toolkit. And you are building that toolkit right now, today, in this conversation. You know, you have a really great way of making things feel manageable. I came into this video feeling a bit hopeless, and now I actually feel like I can do this. You absolutely can. And let us keep going because we have so much more to cover. Next, I want to talk about one of the most common situations in daily life: asking for directions.
Oh, this is a tough one. I got lost last week, actually, and I needed to ask someone for help, and I ended up just opening Google Maps on my phone because I was too scared to approach a stranger and speak English. That is so relatable. But imagine if your phone battery dies. So here is a very simple phrase: "Excuse me, I am sorry to bother you, but could you tell me how to get to the nearest subway station?" I love that you start with, "I am sorry to bother you." That feels very polite, like you're respecting the other person's time before even asking the question.
Exactly right. English speaking cultures, especially in cities, really appreciate that polite opener. And then when they give you directions, you can say, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it." And that always leaves a great impression.
What if I do not understand the directions they give me? Like, they say turn left at the roundabout, and I have no idea what a roundabout is.
Then you say, "I am so sorry. I am still learning English. Could you speak a little more slowly, please?" And most people will immediately slow down and even use simpler words because most humans genuinely want to help.
I never thought people would actually adjust for me. I always assumed they would get frustrated or just walk away. But what you are describing is a much kinder world than I imagined.
People are generally kinder than we expect, especially when we show genuine effort. And showing effort in a second language is something almost everyone respects.
Okay, I am making a commitment right now. Next time I am lost, I am asking a real person instead of going straight to my phone, even if my heart is beating fast.
I love that commitment. And I want everyone watching to make that same commitment because the discomfort you feel in those moments is literally where your English grows the fastest.
That is such a good point. It's like going to the gym, right? The part where it hurts a little is actually the part where you are getting stronger.
Perfect analogy. And speaking of getting stronger, let us talk about one of the most important daily English skills: talking on the phone, because so many learners find phone calls terrifying.
Oh, yes. I actually avoid phone calls completely and only send text messages or emails because on the phone, you cannot see the person's face, you cannot read their expressions, and you have to respond immediately without time to think.
Those are all real challenges, and you named them perfectly. But here is what helps. Before any important phone call, write down 2 or 3 key sentences you know you will need and read them quietly to yourself just before you dial.
Oh, that is a practical tip. So, like, if I am calling to book a doctor's appointment, I would write something like, "Hello, I would like to make an appointment," before I even pick up the phone?
Exactly. And you can also keep a simple vocabulary list next to you. So if they ask, "What is your date of birth?" or "What is your insurance number?" you already have the words ready and you do not panic.
I once had to call a bank and they asked me to verify my details, and I had no idea what verify meant in that moment, and I just started sweating and eventually hung up without finishing the call.
Oh no! But verify just means confirm. So please verify your details just means please confirm who you are. And now You will never forget that word because of that experience.
That is actually true. The words I learned from embarrassing situations are the ones I remember the best, which is both funny and a little bit sad.
Actually, that is a scientifically proven learning technique. Emotional memory is stronger than regular memory. So, those uncomfortable moments are secretly your best English teachers.
Okay, that completely reframes how I think about embarrassing English moments. Instead of wanting to forget them, I should actually be grateful for them?
Exactly. Write them down, learn from them, and then laugh about them later, because one day you will be fluent and those stories will be some of your favorite memories.
I really hope you are right. Can we talk about the workplace now? Because that is actually where I need English the most and where I feel the most pressure.
Absolutely. Workplace English is so important and so often overlooked in traditional courses. So let us talk about some real scenarios, starting with meetings.
Meetings are the worst for me. Everyone is talking fast, people are interrupting each other, there are acronyms and business terms everywhere, and I usually just sit quietly and nod, even when I have something to say.
Okay, so the first thing I want to give you for meetings is a phrase to politely enter the conversation. Say, if I could just jump in here for a moment, and that signals to everyone that you want to speak without interrupting rudely.
Jump in. Now, that is interesting phrasing, almost like you were jumping into a swimming pool, into the flow of conversation. I like that mental image, actually.
That is a beautiful way to visualize it. And another useful meeting phrase is, could I add something to that point? Which shows you are listening and building on what others are saying, rather than just waiting for your turn to talk.
Oh, yes. I think sometimes in meetings I say nothing because I do not know how to start. But if I have a sentence ready like that, it gives me the entry point I need.
And what about when you do not understand something someone said in a meeting? What do you normally do?
Honestly, I pretend I understand. I nod, I write something in my notebook to look busy, and then afterwards I try to figure out what happened from emails or from asking a colleague quietly.
You are not alone. That is probably the most common secret of English learners in professional settings all over the world. But there is a better way.
What is the better way? Because I genuinely feel like if I say I did not understand in front of my whole team, they will think I am not qualified for my job.
You say something like, just to make sure I have understood correctly. Are you saying that? And then paraphrase what you think they meant. This does two things. It shows you are listening carefully, and it lets you confirm without admitting confusion.
That is brilliant because it sounds like you understood but just want to confirm, not like you had no idea what was happening at all.
Exactly. It is one of the most professional phrases you can use, and even native English speakers use it all the time because it shows attention to detail.
I am writing that down right now. Just to make sure I have understood correctly, are you saying that is going into my notebook tonight?
Good. And let us also talk about emails, because written English at work is just as important as spoken English, and emails are where a lot of learners struggle with tone.
Yes. I once sent an email that I thought was professional and direct, and my manager called me into her office and said it came across as aggressive. I had no idea what I had done wrong.
That happens so often. In English, Especially in work emails, being too direct without softening phrases can sound harsh. So instead of, I need this by Friday, you would say, could you please send this over by Friday? That would be really helpful.
But that seems longer and more complicated. Why does English require so many extra words just to be polite?
That is a really great cultural observation. English, especially in professional British and American culture, uses what linguists call face saving language, which is about protecting the other person's feelings while still getting your message across.
Face-saving language. I love that term. It sounds like something from a spy movie, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you explain it like that.
It does sound quite dramatic, but it is genuinely one of the most important things to understand about English communication culture. And once you get it, so many confusing situations start to make sense.
Can we talk about something a bit more social now? Like making friends or talking to people at a party or social event? Because that is actually the situation where I want to use English the most, but feel the least confident.
Yes. Social English is so fun and so important. And the great news is that in social situations, the rules are much more relaxed than at work, so you have a lot more freedom.
Oh, that is a relief. So I do not need to worry as much about being perfectly formal or using exactly the right professional phrase.
Not at all. In social situations, the most important thing is warmth, not grammar. So even if your sentence structure is a bit off, if you are smiling and showing genuine interest in the other person, the conversation will go well.
What is a good way to start a conversation with a stranger at a social event? Because I usually just wait for someone to talk to me, and that means I end up standing alone for most of the evening.
The best conversation starter in English is a genuine compliment or a question about the other person. Something like, I love your jacket. Where did you get it? Or, how do you know the host? Are both very natural openers.
How do you know the host? That is so simple, but I never would have thought of it. Because it gives you an immediate shared topic to talk about, and the other person can answer easily.
Exactly. And the secret of great English conversation is not about what you say, it is about the questions you ask. Because people love talking about themselves. And if you ask good questions, they will think you are a wonderful conversationalist, even if you only said 20 words.
That is genuinely life-changing advice. I always felt like I needed to have something impressive to say. But you were telling me the skill is actually in the listening and the asking?
100%. And a great follow-up question in any conversation is simply, that is really interesting. Tell me more about that. Because it shows you care, and it keeps the conversation going without you having to think of new topics.
I feel like I just learned a social superpower. Honestly, this lesson had already helped me in 3 different areas of my life, and we're not even at the quiz yet.
We are getting there. But first, I want to touch on one more really important area, which is talking about your feelings and personal experiences in English. Because many learners find that kind of emotional vocabulary very difficult.
Oh, yes. In my own language, I can express exactly how I feel with very specific words. But in English, I often just say, I am sad, or I am happy, and it feels so flat and simple compared to what I actually mean.
So let us expand that vocabulary. Instead of I am sad, you might say, I am feeling a bit down today. Or I am going through a tough time at the moment, which sounds much more natural in English.
And instead of I am happy?
You could say, I am over the moon if you are very excited and happy. Or I am feeling really good about things lately for general positivity. Or I am in a great headspace right now, which is very common in modern English conversation.
Oh, I love over the moon. That is such a vivid image. Like your happiness is so big it is taking you all the way to outer space.
Exactly. And English is full of beautiful expressions like that. Walking on sunshine, on cloud nine, feeling under the weather when you are a bit sick. These phrases make your English sound rich and natural, and native speakers love hearing them used correctly.
I want to use all of these this week. I'm going to try to use at least one new expression every single day and see how people respond.
That is the perfect challenge. And I want everyone watching to do the same. Pick one new phrase from today's video and use it in real life this week. Then come and tell us in the comments what happened.
Yes, please do that. And honestly, reading comments from other learners in this community is one of the most motivating things for me. So let us build that community together in the comments below.
And if you have any questions about anything we discussed today, or any English situation you struggle with in your daily life, put it in the comments and we will do our best to help you, or even make a whole video about it.
That would be amazing. I know I have a lot of friends who are also learning English, and they all have different problems. So knowing that this channel is a place where we can ask questions and get real answers is really wonderful.
That is exactly what English Conversation Amelia is all about. Real conversations, real situations, real help for real people. And we are so happy you are here.
And make sure you subscribe if you have not already. I subscribed after the first 2 minutes of this video, and I honestly cannot believe how much I have already learned just in this one conversation.
All right. Before we get to the quiz, let me give you a quick summary of everything we covered today. Because repetition is one of the most powerful tools in language learning. Yes, please. I learned so much better when things are summarized at the end. We talked about the importance of real conversation over textbook-only learning. We practiced morning greetings with neighbors. We learned how to order food politely using phrases like, could I get, and I would like. We covered how to ask for directions and what to say when you do not understand. We talked about phone call strategies, including preparing key phrases in advance. We went through workplace English, including how to contribute in meetings with if I could just jump in, and how to check understanding professionally. We looked at email tone and face-saving language. We explored social conversation starters and the power of asking good questions. And finally, we expanded emotional vocabulary beyond just happy and sad. That is a genuinely incredible amount covered in one conversation. I feel like I have been in a real English class, but also just chatting with a friend at the same time. That is exactly the experience we want to create. And now, as promised, it is quiz time. Are you ready? Yes. And everyone watching, pause the video, write down your answers, and then put them in the comments so we can all check each other's answers together. Question 1, level A1. You walk into a cafe in the morning. The person at the counter smiles at you. What do you say to order a coffee politely? Is the answer something like, could I get a coffee, please? Or would I want coffee also be acceptable? Great thinking. Write your answer in the comments. The best answer includes a polite opener and uses could I get or I would like. Give it a try. Question 2. Level A2. Your neighbor says, "Bit cold today, isn't it?" What is a natural response you could give? Think about what we practiced today. A natural response connects to what they said and maybe adds something friendly. Write it below. Question 3. Level B1. You are in a meeting and you want to share your opinion. Your manager is speaking. What phrase do you use to politely enter the conversation? Remember the phrase we discussed. Write the full sentence in the comments, and we will tell you if you got it right. Question 4. Level B1 to B2. Your coworker sends you an email saying, "Send me the report now." Rewrite that sentence to sound more polite and professional in English. Think about face-saving language. How do you make a request feel respectful while still getting your point across? There are several good answers, so share yours. Question 5. Level B2. Can you use the expression over the moon in a sentence about something that happened in your real life this week in your real life? This is my favorite question because there are no wrong answers, just real experiences expressed in English, which is exactly what learning a language is all about. Please put all 5 of your answers in the comments below. And if you see someone else's comment, respond to them and help them out, because the best English practice happens in community. And if you got all 5 questions right, comment full score so we know. We love celebrating your wins with you on this channel. And if you only got 1 or 2 right, that is completely okay. Comment still learning, and we will cheer you on just as loudly because effort is what matters most here. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to English Conversation Amelia, and share this lesson with one friend who is also learning English, because you could change their journey just by sharing. It has been a genuine pleasure learning with you all today. See you in the next video, and remember, every conversation is a chance to grow. And just between us, the people who comment today are going to get the most out of this channel. So go ahead and write something below right now. Even if it is just hello, we will reply. We really will. Every single comment. Now go practice your English today, because the best time to use what you just learned is right now.